Well, Jim Flowers is about to be inducted into a Hall of Fame, the International Mustache Hall of Fame.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a whole different kind of Hall of Fame.
Jim is entering the Omaha Press Club Journalists of Excellence Hall of Fame. He's one of 6 honorees who'll be inducted on June 4th.
Yeah, Action 3 News meteorologist Jim Flowers is here alongside Omaha Press Club President Sean McGuire.
Hi, Sean.
But that would be a cool
How
Hall of Fame to get into, wouldn't it? The International
yeah,
Mustache
exactly. I wasn't aware that one even existed, so yeah, why not?
We'll petition.
Yeah,
Let's get you through this induction first, okay, Jim?
Well, listen, I'm a member of the Press Club, and when I saw this come through on the newsletter, I was happy, and I know this is truly an honor for you.
It is, and when I went back and I was looking at some of the previous inductees, you know, Gary Saddlemeyer, Chuck Roberts, Joe Patrick, Floyd Kelber, Lyle Bremser. I mean, these guys are just like, they're legends in terms of broadcasting in Omaha. And when I looked at this list, it's very humbling to think that you're part of that group.
Yeah.
It's really tough to kind of get your head around the whole thing.
So you've been doing TV for
37 years.
Okay, so just a little bit of time.
Right.
34 of those.
34 of those here in Omaha.
Here in Omaha.
Right.
Let's take a look back at some of these images, which are just a riot, Jim.
This was in South Carolina at WOLO.
So this is before you came to see us.
Before I came to, and I started KMTV in 1982. This was probably late 81, maybe early 82. Note the high-tech graphics.
Was that on paper?
No, it was a magnetic board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stick those on
And
there.
low pressure, as always, was over Omaha, producing a little bit of rain. But yeah, I had at this point I had grown a mustache because I'd been sending out tapes, and news directors were saying, "Well, you're kind of young for our team. You know, we're looking for a little older meteorologist." So I grew the mustache, and within 6
more
months,
distinguished.
to look a little bit older.
And you got hired.
This one, this particular picture was done, I think, in 1980, about 84. This was at KE when we had our when we got Doppler radar at that point. This was an AP. Yeah, this was an AP. Photo again. The mustache was there. And,
Well, it never left.
no. After South Carolina, that was it. This was I'll never forget this because I had lunch with the news director and general manager. Again, this was early on at Channel 7. We came up with what we called the Storm Team. And I think we were the first ones in the country to have this concept. And the other folks that are pictured here are Joe Calhoun, who was a very good severe weather guy. Don Novak was an Air Force guy. He ran radar, and then I handled snow. And this was the first storm team that I'm aware of in the country. And then others followed that same sort of concept. Exactly, and we had each thing covered.
And the weather guys.
This is a picture of the weather guys. Tom Bavacqua, who was doing weather here at the time, and I believe he went to Worcester, Massachusetts. Dale Munson, who has passed on, was here. He's another legend. He was here, and this was shortly after I became chief. When I was at, I believe it was at KE.
That's an iconic image for a lot of people who follow television in Omaha.
Right.
But we do have photographic evidence that you weren't always on television with a mustache.
That is true.
This was the same name.
There's a lot that is embedded in this photograph.
Okay.
This was in early 1980 because I started in Columbia in 1979. This was like January or February of 1980. Didn't have a mustache then. Okay, I had just started. I wasn't there 6 months. Note the name though.
Yeah.
Jim Bryan.
Who is Jim Bryan?
Jim Bryan. Now, there's a story behind this, and I hope you guys have time for it. Okay.
Well, we got time, Jim.
Well,
After I was hired, after I sent them a tape, the news director took me aside and he said,
Sean,
Jim,
we'll get to you.
I'm sorry, Sean. I apologize. I don't want to get you in here.
I want to hear this.
The story is that after I was hired, the news director said, you can't use your last name. And I said, Flowers? Flowers are pretty in there. You know, I mean, what could be wrong with flowers?
Defending your name.
Yeah, the thing is, there was a bootlegger named Percy Flowers. In fact, he is the king of the moonshiners in North Carolina. If you do a search of Percy Flowers, you will find he's the king of the moonshiners. Now, Percy in the 50s and 60s was making $1 million a year running moonshine.
Wow.
And so they said, Jim, we really don't want you associated with the king of the moonshiners.
Of the king of moonshiners.
With the king of the moonshiners in North Carolina. So I took my middle name. My middle name was Bryan.
Oh, what
so
a hoot.
when I was there, it was Jim
And then
Bryan.
you came to Omaha and they didn't have any bootleggers.
No,
bootleggers.
bootleggers were not an issue, so I was able
Sean,
to
let's
keep
get to you
it.
because there's some other inductees that are going to be inducted into
Love
this
that
on June 4th as well. Who's going to be inducted?
We got Jim Roberts, posthumously.
Yeah.
He was the former news
He was
director.
the second news director ever here at KMTV.
We also have Dr. Eileen Worth from UNO. We've got some other fantastic people as well. And it's going to be just a terrific event. If you haven't been up there before, this is probably one of the best events of the year at the Press Club, which, as you know, has probably one of the best views and is just a terrific environment to go and enjoy some time. And I'm really looking forward to the stories and the laughs and just a terrific dinner.
Is it open to the public?
It is open to the public, and one thing people don't realize is that you can actually go up there. Membership rates are quite affordable. You can just go to omahapressclub.com and inquire about that. And we're running a membership campaign right now, which is can get you into great events like this.
That's a great point. You don't have to be in the media to join the Press Club. You don't have to be part of the press. You
That's
know,
a
it is
misconception.
open to the public.
And one of the reasons it's called the Press Club is because we do like to honor journalists, and this is one of our annual events that does that. We really believe that you know, journalism is an important art. Some people believe that it's dying these days, and so
No. You know what? I believe so strongly. I'm like a big J person, right? It is so important for us as Americans to understand the world, to have facts, to have people who are passionate about digging that up. And in Jim's case, to have somebody who is a champion for safety. I mean, Jim, when I watched you at 3 o'clock in the morning, as I did a week ago, when hail was pounding our house, and my husband and I jumped out of bed, ran to the basement. We didn't know what kind of threat was looming. I turned on the TV and I see you. That's where I feel like that's where you're worth your weight in gold.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And a tease for the folks who may be thinking about, you know, heading up to the Press Club. I'm going to show a few video clips too. I've got my first time ever in front of a camera at
You've got that
channel.
video?
I have that video. At least I got a clip of it. And I think that's worth.
My God.
That's worth the price of
Is it
admission.
enjoyable for you to watch back this day? Sometimes looking at
You're
those
mortified.
is painful.
Well, I don't know if you're going to look at that and go, "This guy is Hall of Fame." But yeah, it was.
There
fun.
was room for improvement.
There was definitely room for improvement.
Thank you,
And this is
Jim.
the first time I've seen Jim since I made the mustache joke a few weeks ago. It was so windy out. It was so windy. I said, "Hey guys, it's so windy that they're back there reattaching Jim Flowers' mustache."
Put on, Bob.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sean.
it is real, by the way.
It is real.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, thank you
buddy.
guys.
Jim,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Great to see you both.
All right, it's the last day of